If this isn't enough to push you to want to have your own business, to get that online course started, to become a coach, or something that you could help people transform their pain points with, then I don't know what else that will push you to do this. I have been a server pretty much all of my adult life, my young adult life, off and on for many years. And I don't know how many times people tell me that I should do something else, especially family members, because all of them, they do high end jobs in the corporate world. And they always say, oh, that is for younger people. That is for someone that's just trying to go to college. But let me tell you, I have had many, many great, great years of serving. I've bartended, I've cocktailed, and where I've been, the money has been phenomenal. I could go home. I don't have to have stress, other than, yes, I do have some stress. Don't get me wrong. The things that I deal with at work is crazy. If you are a server or bartender, or if you've done it before, you know what I mean. First of all, it's like a big high school. I talk with all of my coworkers, but you really have to learn to be really careful what you say, what you bring into your workplace. Talking about your personal life is not the best idea. I learned the hard way. And yes, I knew this, but I did it anyway because you forget we are creatures of nature. That's how you say it. I don't know. But anyway, you know what I mean. I have gone through things with micromanagers to backstabbers at work. The list goes on, favoritism, and it's just crazy. I do my thing. I go to work. I know it's there, but when I see things happening every single day, then it does become really, really frustrating and draining. So, yesterday was Christmas, and by the way, Merry Christmas to everyone. I hope everyone had a great day. Celebrated with family or whatever you do. If you wanted to sit home by yourself, I've done that before and watched movies and just relaxed. I did my Christmas for on Christmas Eve. It was nice, very nice. Yesterday, I mean, I went to work. I had my festive shirt on, and yes, I did fall asleep with my makeup on, which I always try not to do. I was so exhausted yesterday, and it actually looks pretty good today. But I gotta watch my face. I serving people, going up to the tables. Hi, how are you? Very chirpy. And some people were really nice. Some people were just, and I understand people go through things on Christmas, but why don't you stay home? I had so many people, I'm telling you, treat me like crap. And I know that some people think that Christmas is just another day, which it is another day. I just don't see why people don't stay home. I mean, I had one guy, he got so mad at me, and I don't even know why, because I checked on him a couple times. Yes, his food did take longer because it's a holiday. Our food was going to take longer, and it was so busy. I mean, we were packed. We had waits on the door for about anywhere from 10 to 15-minute waits, which isn't too bad. I've gone places where it's been a half hour and maybe even longer. But if you want to stay and wait, then stay and wait. If you don't, then leave. Because I've been to a restaurant where I didn't want to stay and wait because it was so long that I went somewhere else. It's okay. I didn't yell at the workers, I didn't yell at the host. It's just the way it is. It's not their fault. So I checked on this guy about probably two times just because he was so into his food. He was on his phone, said, how's everything? Fine. Okay. So, go on, do my thing. Well, at the end, he goes to pay and he says, well, I usually tip, but I'm not going to tip today. And he said, I got bad service. And I said, well, why? Why did you get bad service? He said, well, the steak was terrible. I never got checked on. And I told him, I checked on you two times. He said, no, no, I never got checked on. I said, okay, I'm not going to argue with the guy. He said the steak was horrible. Well, guess what? The steak was gone. I mean, he only had the little bit of the fat in the ends. And so at that point, I just said whatever and walked away. Another lady, just got, she just sat down. I, was walking around doing my thing, taking things to other people that needed their drinks and whatnot. So, and I kid you not, she just sat. I just saw her sat, and I was walking by, and she was flagging me down like this. And I said, hold on. And so I did my thing, went over there. As I'm walking towards her, she's waving at me. So I go over to the table, take her order. That was that. And then at the end, she had basically 2 eggs and potatoes. It was very small breakfast. I still remember, and a drink. So I go over there and she gets ready to pay the bill. And she looked at it and she said, "These are not my items," which was the 2 eggs and potatoes. But she said the eggs were not. And and I looked down at the plate and they were gone. I said, "Oh," I said, "those eggs are gone. You ate the eggs." So she goes, "Oh." So, I mean, on and on and on the list goes on. So, this is why I'm telling you these are things to push you to do what you want to do. And yes, is it going to be easy? Or no, is it going to be easy? No. But this things that we deal with day after day, we go to work, we have structure of time you have to be there, time you have to leave, you have to ask for permission to leave, you have to ask for permission for every single thing, go on a vacation, getting it approved, micromanagers. Nothing in life is easy. That's great. Nothing in life is going to be coming to you and just falling on your lap. For instance, being on YouTube is so hard. There's days I feel like, well, nobody's watching my videos, but there's one or two watching my videos. And guess what? That means so much, because if you help one or two people, then you could have an online course. You could help somebody transform something that you have to teach, whether it's working out, eating healthy. And yes, they can get this information on Google or YouTube, which I have plenty of YouTube watch time in my days to come. I don't know if that sounded right, but it's just every day. I get a lot of information from it, but hiring the 2 coaches that I did helped me so much to grow, because they've been there, they've grown their courses, they've grown their channel. Sorry, my voice, I'm losing my voice. I had to get something to drink. It means I'm talking too much. They had to go through the things, not getting views, whether it's months or years. People a lot of times don't talk about that, how long it took them to grow. Also, 2 to 5 people or a handful of people, that's all you need, is to show up every week, talk about your transformation, show the growth that you're trying to help people with. And then you can help other people and show them that there is ways to get to that point, or the points, or ongoing. If it's something that you're trying to teach people, for instance, on working out, it's a lifetime of working out. It takes time to build and to grow. So I recently just switched over to Stand Store. I was on Kajabi, but since I'm new and my course is still being worked on, I've had it out for about 4 months on Kajabi. And it was just a lot for me as a new creator. It's great. It's a great place to put branding on. You can still do that on Stand Store, but there's so many other options on Kajabi, why I love it. But the price for me right now, I feel it didn't make sense, since I didn't have a course out and I'm still learning, I'm still growing, that I just went to Stand Store. And I heard a lot of great things on Stand Store as well. You have your online courses, you can have community coaching, email list, one-on-ones, group coaching, and I believe you can sell your own products, but you have to do it in a different way. I don't think you can do it directly on Kajabi. You could have a funnel on there, and then you have to pick a different storefront to connect with Stand Store. There's so many other things that you can do on there as well. Now, for the photos and for the brand, you can still put your brand colors on there. You can have your photos, but there's not as much as Kajabi. But I don't need that right now. You just have to have something that's a great product or transformation product. You just have to have something. I don't know why I say product, but just something that you're helping people with and teaching people with. So it's just a great platform as well. So I did that. And I started off with the $29.99. There's a couple things that you can't do on there. I know that you can't offer a payment plan for people. You can do a lot of other things on there. And when you're new, it's fine. It's something to get you started, to have people go on. Oh, you could also do ebooks on there. You could sell journals, ebooks. So definitely it's shorter and easier for me to learn. Kajabi was so tough. It, it's like I said, it's a great platform, but very, very hard. And it challenged my brain. Don't get me wrong. I learned so much. It helped me to move quicker with Stan Store, and I should have my course out by March. And I said January in the beginning, but I don't really want to put a specific date on it. And there again, this is my other hair channel. Eventually, I will put some out on here. If anyone is interested on learning and building an online course, I have built it from knowing nothing from scratch, not knowing any of this storefront, barely knowing any social media stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been on TikTok for maybe, it might have been 2 years, and Instagram maybe going on 4 now. I just started dabbling on Instagram as well, just because I want to have that marketing for my online course, and I'm putting out some of my hair stuff and showing before and afters. Now, why am I talking about this from my complaining or venting about work? Is because these are all things that should push you, should help you to go in and take that step. It is scary, very scary. Trust me. And you do get that imposter syndrome where you think, oh, who's going to listen to me? No one's going to listen to me. I'm not an expert, but all you have to do is know what you're doing, show the proof, and that basically makes you an expert. Of course, you're going to be a little afraid, but just push through it. Know that you can do this. Yesterday, I just was so tired mentally. Yes, I've been able to open up my own permanent makeup business, which is not open any longer because I just didn't feel like it was for me with the income that I make from serving. Now, I know people think that you make change, but I work in casinos and I've worked in airports, and the money is phenomenal. It's just draining, mentally draining. I do have the benefits. I have medical, dental, I have 401k, I have retirement. I am afraid to leave that sometimes because that's a security and it's great benefits. I'm tired of the rat race, relying on people. Don't get me wrong, I rely on people for courses and online courses, but it's in a different way. This is challenging. It helps me to learn. I have to rely on people for tips. I am very appreciative of tips. Don't get me wrong. I know some people don't have the money. I know some people, it's hard and they give you what they can give you, and that's great. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just people simply going in, and I've seen it on forums. I've seen people say servers don't deserve tips, but this is a benefit. We go out and eat. We appreciate the service, and we were closed for so long. If you remember, we were closed during the pandemic. I am so happy to be able to go to a restaurant and just sit there and enjoy myself and relax and give a tip to the server because they deserve it. That's their job and that's what they do and that's their livelihood. Not these servers expect a tip. I don't understand. I've seen it time after time and I know what people think. That is all I'm saying. It's just something that I'm going to work on so much. And I have been for the last couple of weeks. In the meantime, I'm just encouraging you, just look into it. I started looking on YouTube, trying to find mentors and coaches on YouTube because a lot of coaches will give out so much free information to people watching because they know that in their course they're going to go into so much more depth. But you can go on and start looking at things like that. And eventually, after my course is up on the other channel, I will be putting out something here if you're interested and you want to learn. So I hope everybody has a great day. I hope everyone had a great Christmas. And thank you so much again for watching.